All right. Hello and welcome back to Who's Even Listening here on our Mental Medicine channel, our weekly podcast every Wednesday. As always, thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, ELE, everybody love everybody. Let's try to make this world a better place and spread peace and make this world a place that we all want to live in and exist in. And that's truly our goal of doing this. So hopefully we're influencing others who want to do that as well. But with that being said, we have a very special guest here, James. Hopefully I don't butcher it, man, my man, McKelvey.
It's McKelvey.
McKelvey, sorry, brother.
Yeah, it happens.
I went a little. Yeah, that was my bad, brother. Because my last name's Doofendock, if that helps you. So I get that one butchered a lot too. Yeah. But thank you again for joining us, brother. Appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come on, man. Really do. And before we get started, obviously, I know you when you sent us a script, and you talked to my wife, I think initially, but I really want to dive into kind of just give us a brief intro to you and, what really, what you've been through throughout your life right now and what got you to the point you're at today, if you can. Just a little kind of summary, if you can, of what you got you to where you're at right now.
My name is James. I come from a background of homelessness, incarceration, and addiction. Over the past, I'd say about 7.5 years, I've continuously worked to build myself to get out of that situation. Today, I am a homeowner, a business owner, and a more productive member to society. And, I just continuously strive to continuously get better on a daily basis so that I don't have to fall back into those days where I was homeless and, stuck in the cycle of addiction and incarceration.
Yeah, absolutely, man. No, well said, brief. No, keep it sweet, short and sweet, man. We like that. Nothing wrong with that. So along with that, man, so like when I first brought you in here and we talked about, I said, obviously that's why I wanted to talk to you generally, because the whole purpose of our podcast is just talking about how we can get through deep times, dark times that we have, negative energy that we have around us, and how we can make that positive even though it may not be around us. How can we still be positive? You know what I mean? And that's, I think, really something you had to probably deal with a lot. You know what I mean? It's very hard to have when you have circumstances around you that aren't as maybe good, you know what I mean? But you have to find a way to make something good out of it, you know what I mean, in a sense.
Yeah.
And so that's the main thing I wanted to really dive into you. But the first question I really wanted to ask you is, obviously you said in the last 8 years, I know it was the big kind of swing for you. Mm-hmm. What would you say that of those 8 years that you're the most proud of that, of today?
I guess it's really a simple thing, but I really enjoy that I become a pro-social member of society, and I like that, like, when I can go to the store, people recognize me today for more of a positive than a negative. Yeah. I like that, like, I can have personable relationships with people to where I wasn't, and I know that's not something that most people would say, but coming from the lifestyle I came from, I never had something like that, so it's just nice to be able to be more sociable with people.
Yeah, no,
in
absolutely.
the community.
No, that's a big part of it. No, like you said, everybody wants to have a purpose and feel accepted in a sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that can weigh a lot on people. And people don't really think about that. But yeah, just feeling like you're doing the right thing in a sense. It's almost that simple. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because somebody told me one time years back that I was an antisocial person, and I really didn't understand what they were saying because I thought like they were saying like I don't talk to people or I wasn't like outgoing in the sense of that.
Yeah.
But no, they meant in the sense of the toxicity that my lifestyle had brought to the community, rather than the positivity that I'm able to give back to the community through my business and, just the ways that I'm able to move today, rather than I was at one time.
No, well said, dude. No, well said. No, we all could strive for that, my man. Absolutely, dude. No, well said. It's the perspective, like you said. It's the mind shift of realizing that, being aware of that and then making the shift possible. You know what I mean? Like making a difference to figure out a way, all right, how do I now channel this to do it the opposite, and like
100%, because it's not the easiest thing to really turn your life around, to be honest with you.
Dude, 100%.
I tried for 15 years and I just kept failing, but like you said, for the positivity part, I just knew that like if I could stay afloat, that one day I would figure it out. Because it's not like it's not like a hard thing to figure out. It's just a hard thing to get involved with, I guess you would say. Because once you're in it, you're in it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
My big thing was I moved to the Dover area and just got away from, like they say, the people's places and things, and that just changed my whole life to a different way. and now I just have more positive influences rather than the negatives that we grow up around, because it's easy for us to fall back into stuff with all of our old friends that might still be in it and stuff like that.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
No, there's always temptation. You know what I mean? Like
always
you said, there's always
100%.
it's always lingering no matter what you try to do. And there's like you always say, there's as much as you try to run from anything, it's always going to find you again. It's just how you deal with it the next time. Like 100%, man, 100%. So I kind of a similar question. But I'm curious to see what you think of this too. What was one moment? This could be, you could take this recently or in the past more. What was one moment that you think changed everything for you? Whether it be a bunch or maybe a bunch of small moments. Was there one moment that really sticks out to you that really like was very impactful that changed kind of everything for you, or was it just kind of a bunch of things kind of building up?
Within this last like 7-8 years.
I would say, yeah. What got you to that point? I guess, like from when you were, dealing with the incarcerated home, and then what when you had that like turning point? Was there like a certain point that really kind of led you to that, or?
Well, when I was still out there, I was trying to figure a way out, but you're so far into it, it's hard to do. And I didn't have medical insurance, so I used that as an excuse and everything.
Okay.
But then I luckily got incarcerated, and when I got incarcerated, this is the last time I was incarcerated. I realized that every other time that I was incarcerated, I'd never asked for help. So this time I asked for help, and what I had got in trouble for carried probation, and I remember they had tried to send me home on level 3 probation, and I told them that if they did that my life, it would never work out. So I asked them to send me to rehab, and just the sequence of events from there had just been great, man. When I got incarcerated, one of the counselors, she helped me out, and she got me into an Oxford house, which I think is a great step for anybody trying to start out. It's not a forever option, but it's more like a stepping stone for people that don't have anything going on. I can personally say that if I came out without the option of Oxford House, I do not think I'd be where I'm at today.
Okay, how about that?
Because they gave me a chance to get my mind right and get myself together rather than having to go back on the streets and get back into survival mode. I didn't have to be so much of a survivalist rather than somebody trying to build myself. And then I just kept upgrading from there, and then I moved into an apartment, and then a duplex, and then a house. And then last year I bought my first house. And
congrats, man. That's awesome.
I remember somebody told me one time that 5 years after they started their life, they bought a house. And because of that statement, I believe that in 5 years I could do it. It took me 5 years, 11 months, but I was still within the time frame, and that's what I do. I listen to the motivation of what other people around me have said, and I take it and I try to apply it to myself. Because I personally believe that if you can do it, there's no reason I can't do it. You know what I'm saying?
All capable.
You just got to figure it out. That's it. It's just all of a figure it out situation. And I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, no, it does. 100%. No, it did. Well, even with I'm curious because I actually personally don't even know much about the Oxford House. So can you go explain a little more about that actually?
Oh, Oxford House, in my opinion, is great, man. It's not really a halfway house. It's kind of like a halfway house, but it's more like a 3/4 way house, and it's more of a recovery house, I guess you would say. And they help people that are struggling with addiction and coming home from incarceration, need a place to stay and everything, and they give you just a place to stay. You pay a little bit each week. The house is self-governing type thing, and you got a bunch of guys in there, and you go to meetings, and you just get back involved in the community, and you just get more of a support base rather than just trying to figure it out on your own. And it's a little bit more lenient than what would they be called? Like an actual halfway house. I can't really explain it. But it's a recovery house for people trying to start over, and they give you that stepping stone, like I said, to be able to build yourself up at like a discounted rate with support and stuff around that.
It's just a very good starting point, basically.
100%.
Okay, that's 100%. Awesome. Okay,
and they're all throughout the state and everything. They got they're really big, man.
Okay, no, that's awesome.
I attribute my beginning to that. 100%.
No, heck yeah, dude. Okay, no, I have to look more into that. That's awesome. People definitely have to, hopefully, I'm sure people know about it, but hopefully that gets used more, because I know some things that we have, it seems like some things are good, but obviously, like you said, you got to ask for the help to have it. You
got to ask for the help to have it. 100%.
That's the hardest part about it.
Yeah, and it is hard to ask for help. And then sometimes it's even hard to even listen to the help.
Yes, indeed.
Because we think we know everything.
Correct. Well
100%.
said.
And you just got to realize that you don't. Yes. And I mean, that's still hard for me sometimes too.
Very true.
Because, especially with how everything's going, but yeah, man, that's a great start. That's what I'll say. Yeah, and they'll guide you along. I can't say that I'm too involved in it anymore, but it was a good start for me in the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely, man. No, that's awesome. That's awesome, dude. We all need something to get us going. You know what I mean? Something to propel it at least a little bit. Absolutely, man. So I want to ask you this too. I'm curious to see what you say on this, because obviously we all experience days where we feel like, we just kind of don't want to do anything or something. What do you kind of tell yourself on days that maybe you kind of feel like you're just not yourself in a sense? Because I feel like we all have those days, it's not as good as others, and days that kind of get to you and you have some not so good things happening, we're all stressed or something. What do you try to do in those moments or those days that you have to really kind of keep yourself grounded?
First and foremost, I tell myself, you're the only one that's going to do this.
Yes, sir.
That's it. That's really like the number one thing I tell myself, because if I give up or if I fumble, there's nobody to catch me. Yeah. So I continuously just motivate myself. Even when I don't want to do it, I just tell myself, you got to do it, bro. Just get up and go. Yeah. And usually when you get there, it's not that bad. You know what I'm saying? 100%. Like even this morning with how everything went with this and everything, like it was a little bit, falling back. And I was like, but then now that I'm here, it's a whole lot different. You know what I mean? So like motivation just really, I just want a better life. I want better for myself. I could say that, I don't hold on to stuff either. Yeah. So like that stuff, like if I failed last week, that's not going to bring me into this week, because it happened last week. You know what I mean? And we're only progressing. So like,
well said, man.
Motivation, it's solely inside, man. I just push myself.
Yeah,
that's it, man. Yeah. And I got a heavy motivation. I hear that a lot from a lot of people, and I got a lot of discipline. I discipline myself, man, because you know what I mean. Like I said, that's the only way to get ahead, especially being self-employed.
Yeah.
Because, like, everybody thinks self-employed is a fun thing, and it is. It's fairly relaxing at times, you know what I mean? Like, you get to make your own schedule and stuff like that. But, like, at the end of the day, nobody's telling you have to get up and go to this job. Nobody's telling you on them bad days that you got to go see this customer or anything like that. You got to tell yourself, like, this is what I got to do to, get ahead. Instead of, like, calling in and be like, oh, can we reschedule? Like, I'm not a rescheduler. Yep. I treat the business just like I would treat a regular job, weather permitted.
Correct.
And,
correct. You're correct.
It's just motivation. I just keep myself, like I said, believing that I can. I have to. I have no choice.
Yeah.
But to motivate myself. What do I do if I fail? Dude, yep. You know what I mean?
Well said, dude.
And I don't want to go back to homelessness, man. My biggest thing is never homeless, never again, because that was probably even outside of addiction and all that. Homelessness is probably the hardest thing I feel like that I had to like really deal with within that stuff, because it's just a rough life. Not having anywhere to like really like relax. Yes. Being in survival mode is one of the hardest things. And then I carried that into this lifestyle for years. Still carried in some ways, you know what I mean? Because like we don't want to fall back, and it's hard. That's one thing that's hard to get rid of, survival mode.
No, yeah, but that keeps 100%. Kind of on autopilot in a sense. Yeah, no, for sure. But but in a sense, like you said, there's a good and a bad in all things. And like in a sense, I guess the good thing that you took from that is the drive to keep you motivated to not go back. You know what I mean? Like in a sense, yeah.
Homelessness and addiction, in my opinion, I know it might sound crazy because I did lose stuff over it. And there's some things that you cannot get back no matter how hard you try to do right. Was one of the best things that could have happened to me. And I know it sounds crazy, but like I got my hustle from it. I got my motivation from it. I learned how to save from it. Yeah. I learned how to move from it. I learned how to be a whole different person because of the homeless, addictive life that I lived for years. And I brought it into this life, and I turned it into a more positive than a negative. And it just made me, I would say, flourish in a sense.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because like I think like I'm not like all the way up there, but like I do pretty well, and I move pretty well in life responsibly.
Brother,
very responsible.
What you just said there is key, dude. I love that. Basically said that you weren't the work ethic, and that you got the the discipline from that. Basically, from
that lifestyle.
Yes, your perspective, that the spin on that you don't view it as a victim mentality mindset. That this is awful that this happened to me. You know what I mean? Or this is terrible, a tragedy. You view it as it was something I needed to go through to get to where I'm at now. And that mind shift is, I think, what got you to why you're there, is because you can people. It takes everybody a while to spin that perspective in their head to get them to understand that it's how we view it. It's how we view the situations we're in. We all can view it as doom and gloom, or we can view it as a building block or a foundation to get us to that next level. You know what I mean? It's not the end all be all, is what I'm trying to say. And if you can find that and still feel, because I think a lot of people, for example, even myself or anybody, we all look at things, it's like, oh man, that this should have been another way. That shouldn't have happened to me or whatever. And it's just like, it's life. You know what I mean? We all try to blame things or play the blame game. But if you can just focus in on and realize that was just a bad situation. All right, let's move on. Like you said, it was last week, whatever it was. Let's move on. Let's make it better. But sorry, it took me a while to get to that point. But what I was trying to say was, that you basically, I think your perspective and your mind shift to realize that, this kind of helped me. And most people, I don't think, can say that. You know what I mean? That's hard to say that in a situation that's so bad that most people can't see the good in it. You know what I mean?
I used to here's what I'll say. One more thing about that, real quick. So like you said, I like to look at how my past brought me to my present. And I used to like panhandle at one time when I was homeless, and I used to have to talk to different people and stuff like that. And then one day when I came into business within like my first year, I realized how the context of my life before put me into the context of my life today. Because of all the different people I had to talk to while panhandling, it set me up for a different position to be able to talk to all the different customers that I deal with on a regular basis, because there's so many different personalities out there, and it just made me more like comfortable with that type of stuff, I guess you would say.
100%.
Made me like more, instead of like being nervous about it, I was more comfortable with talking to people because I've talked to so many different personalities from doing that.
Yeah, no,
you know
100%,
what I mean?
Dude. No, it's you see a bunch of different views and perspectives, and it really makes you feel different too. I think that's the key too.
Yeah.
Because like you said, we all, like you said it too earlier, that we all think we know everything, and that's just, for whatever reason, that's human nature in all of us. But to get past that and realize that other people can teach us something, I can be wrong, and I can learn from that. Is key, because I think we all are very hard-headed, a lot of us.
Yeah, we are,
and it's hard to get to that point. It really is for a lot of us, for sure. But I'm going to ask you this too. What's one thing you think people do wrong when they try to change too fast? Because I think a lot of people, we all have set expectations in a sense. Like you even said with the 5-year mark that you set, it ended up being 5 years and 11 months for you. You know what I mean? It's like, in a sense, it was close, but you get what I mean? Like sometimes when we don't meet that exact point, we're then almost upset if it doesn't meet that criteria in our head. You know what I mean? Because we all set that expectations. So do you feel like there's something?
I think people rush too much, man.
Yes, 100, yes.
I think people rush way too much. Even when I go into, like, could I still go to meetings sometimes? And I like to, like one thing if I do share, I like to tell like the newer people is just slow down, man.
Yeah, yes.
It's not that big of a race. You don't need to like have it all overnight, because it will definitely come to you, man. Yeah. If you just stay in position and play your cards right. You can't give up. You can't half-ass it. You got to be with it, man. And your life will 100% get better. You just got to take your time. You're not going to get a house overnight. Yes, like I said, that was a 5-year plan. And it took me 5 years and 11 months. But I was still within the mark, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I did it by myself.
Correct.
I worked hard, and I had to build a business, and I had to go through all the channels to do it. And to look at it that it wasn't 5 years would be crazy, because the goal was still accomplished.
Correct.
You know
We're on a different timetable. Yep,
everything's on a different timetable. Just because I think it could happen at a time doesn't mean it's going to happen in a time.
Correct.
And I'm just patience, man. Just exert patience in the beginning, because it will be frustrating. You'll see people and they'll have like nice cars, and they'll be able to buy the coffees and whatever else they want at the time, and it'll be like you'll be a little envious at the time, but your day will come. Just stay in position, man. That's it. And I can say it from personal experience. I came home with nothing. I had sold my pair of shoes to my cellmate, so that I could have a couple of dollars to try to put towards the Oxford house.
How about that?
And then I used to do like stuff, wash clothes and do legal work or anything like that, so I could save up a couple of dollars. And all I had was a t-shirt, shower shoes, and shorts, man. And through perseverance, I promise you can get anywhere, man.
Respect, dude.
And now I live a lot better, man. And my life's a lot more stable.
Yeah. No, 100%.
And I appreciate it. I'm so grateful. I think, and I know this might be crazy, but I think the best feelings are like the day after a long day at work, man, because it just shows I put it in. And you get like, you're driving home late and you get a little emotional, and you're just thinking like, man, this is all like so much better, man. Like, it's just, I don't know, man. I'm just so grateful. I love the life I live today.
No, really well said, bro. It's like it gives you peace, man.
Gives you peace, man.
It does.
100%.
It does. 100%.
Yeah, I don't got to go to bed worrying or wake up like stressing. It's just, you know what I mean? Day to day, normal life.
No, peace of mind is everything, man. That's it's hard to get sometimes, but yeah, when you get it, it's a great feeling, man. You know what I mean? That even if it's for a split second, like you said, even if it's just that little drive home, you notice it or whatever. But we all gotta be grateful for what we have, in the little moments, man. Yeah. 100%, man.
It'll 100%. Take you a lot further than looking at what you don't have.
Well said, man.
And that's what a lot of people do. I feel like also.
No, we hyper focus on that. We all
focus
victim
on
of
what
that.
we don't have and not look at what we do have.
100%, bro. 100%, man. So I want to ask you this too. So what do you think is the biggest? I'm sure you might say, obviously you can take this however you want, family or whatever you want to take this. But what do you think the biggest thing that keeps you grounded today or every day you wake up? What's kind of the biggest thing that keeps you grounded?
I don't want to fail.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's me. Because at the end of the day, I could say it's for everybody else, but then where's my motivation for me?
Well said.
See, I tried
Well
that
said.
for years. Even
I
when
like
it came to addiction, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to get clean for this person. I'm going to get clean for that person. But it was never for this person, which is me. And now I ride hard for myself so that I don't have to go through that again. And then by me doing good, everybody else around me benefits.
Yeah.
So we're all good off of that. You know what I mean? We all get to, enjoy the better side of me, I'd say. I'm not saying that, I make or break anybody, but
You gotta help somebody. You gotta help yourself before you help anybody
people.
else,
Yes,
dude. 100%, dude. Couldn't agree more, dude. No, you well said, man. Well said. Obviously, and you got the shirt. You got the hoodie. I like the hoodie, by the way. The JEM Total Service. I love that, man. That's tough, man. I like the color. But with that being said, about becoming a business owner, obviously explain kind of what you do and what kind of services you provide. I wanted you to talk about that too. Get your business out.
I own JEM Total Services. I do a variety of things, from handyman to contractor stuff. I got into business about 4.5 years ago. I was working for a guy, and I had ended up stopped working there, and I had he before I stopped working at his business, and then a buddy of mine were just encouraging me to start a business and try. And I remember I was just so nervous at first because I was like, what am I gonna do? Like my buddy's a painter, my other guy, he's like out here doing big things, and I was like, man, what are you gonna do? So then I just went out and tried, and it changed my life.
Yeah.
It made me more responsible. It made me more like just I built a life worth living for off it.
Yes.
And then I don't know, man. It's just over the last 4.5 years, it's been good. It's been good to me, I guess you could say. I've learned a lot, and I've met a lot of different people. I love that I get to help people at times. That's one of the best things. You get to come into situations that you don't be expecting, and get to help people. And then people's faces when they're like happy with it, that's a really gratifying feeling.
Oh yeah, man.
It is. I really love what I do. I love construction. I love the manual labor of it. I love the hardness of it and the thoughts of it. I really fell into a perfect thing. It really was just a humbug move one day, because I've done construction my whole life, and just the encouragement from the people around me. Like I said, the people around you will make or break you too.
Yeah, well said, man.
And it's just taken off since then.
No, well said, dude. No, you said we all need a purpose. We all got to have
100%.
something to drive us. To feel like we're doing something every day, and that's good that you found your purpose and what makes you happy, man.
Yeah,
that's
now
awesome.
I don't want to mess it up, man. I just can't imagine like because I feel like you don't get like opportunities like this a lot. You know what I mean? Like this is like a one-time thing. I guess people start businesses over and over again, but I wouldn't want to. I'd want to stay with the same thing. I want to build it and see what I did with it myself, because I know the hours and the times and the drives and just the blood, sweat, and tears that really go into building a business. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And once you get invested in it and you see it grow a little bit, it's like your baby, and you just don't want to mess it up. And I'm so grateful for all the people that gave me a chance, man. And I really do appreciate it, man. I really do. I made a post one time thanking the community for it, because I want late night drive home, man. Late night drive home.
Right,
I just get thinking, and I just get thinking about how grateful I am that just how much life has changed, man. And then the way people are and the way they I don't know, they just gave me the opportunity to come to their home and do the jobs, and it's just a great feeling, man. I guess you'd say. Whenever they do a review, everything, I just be like, man, because it just because I know I don't take a lot of time to do reviews for people. You know what I mean? Like McDonald's is asking for one, Chipotle wants one. You know what I mean? Target wants one, and so for somebody to take the time to do it, it's just that's gratifying too, and it just shows me how far of a turn that I really have made. Because people wouldn't even recognize, in my opinion, the lifestyle I used to live, because of the lifestyle that I've come into. You know what I mean? That I've built, I guess you would say, and I love that too, man. I do. Because at one time I didn't think you'd be able to change. Because change is hard, you know what I mean? But like I said, over time, everything's possible.
Well said, brother. Well said. Now, I respect the fact of how you said that you don't, want to have to do another business. You want to select and ride that one out. I respect that, man. Not a lot of people feel that way. I always bring it, joking side of this, I always bring it to sports analogy. You had, back in the day, you had guys that stayed on the same team forever. Now guys jump for 20 teams their whole career. You know what I mean? It's a normal thing now. Even like you said, even in the business world, it's normal for a guy to be like, all right, settle for bankruptcy, let's do the new one. You know what I mean? It's just sadly become the normal. So I respect the heck out of you for doing that, because that's how it should be, man, in my opinion. Especially if you believe in something and you want to make it your own and stand for something, you know what I mean? You should want to embody it for forever. You know what I mean?
Forever,
You shouldn't
yeah.
want to just trash it. You know what I mean? So I respect that view on it, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. Excuse me. But I want to ask you this too about the business two side of it. Obviously with construction and all that, I know that's obviously, like you said, I'm curious to see what you say on this because I've always wondered this with the weather kind of, you know, involved there too. How does that, so like if you have a timetable that you're working on with one of these projects or something, say you have like something with a situation we have here and it's supposed to be met and you can't work on it with weather, how does that work on in your field?
Everything's weather permitted. I just let the customer know before we start the job that, you know, we would be able to do it in this time. And I always put weather permitted behind it because I can't control the weather, obviously. And it would just, it would obviously push the project back, but I would, as how I do it, I would just try to fit them in as the best I can within the next, you know, available couple of days or here, whatever I can. I mean, even if it's spread it out a little bit.
No, fair enough.
And then
I was just curious.
I feel like you got to save for stuff like this too, because you never know when there could be downtimes or something like that.
Yeah, good point.
I'm not a business owner that believes in living job to job. I don't believe in struggling when we're in business. I feel like you should at least have yourself built a little bit to where something like that wouldn't really make us too stressed out to where we could still probably try to do it, and we're not trying to do it within like weathering conditions and all that. So that's how I would take that.
No, fair enough. No, I was just curious from the standpoint because I just didn't know if people, you know, because I just didn't know how the customer side of it was. I'm sure, like you said, you already have it written out, so it doesn't really matter, I guess, in that sense of it. Because I just feel like you could have people that would maybe hot about it or
because,
something.
I mean, what are we going to do about the weather? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly. It's Mother Nature, man. Exactly.
Nobody
Like,
can,
correct. I would hope people would be respectful of that. I was hoping.
I've never had anybody come at me for that before.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. I was hoping that wasn't.
If anything, most customers will actually kind of usually reach out and be like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do it today.
Good.
Or something
Okay,
like
good. That makes me feel good.
Yeah, a lot of people ain't going to try to have you.
I'm glad to hear that. I was hoping it wasn't the other way. Good. I'm glad to hear that.
I have worked in the rain, but that was by personal choice, and it wasn't like that deep of a job to where it was okay.
Fair enough.
Like landscaping or something like that.
No, fair enough, brother. Fair enough. All right. So let's say this. I'm curious to see what you say about this. I feel like we all have a different perspective of success. You know, what does success mean to you now, maybe compared to before? Do you have like a different view on it? Has it always been kind of the same for you?
Well, you're absolutely right. I think about that a lot. Everybody's definition of success is different. Yeah, I believe from what do I think success is?
Yeah, just for you.
I think just an easygoing life, man, is successful, man.
I like that.
It doesn't matter the money or nothing like that, because money really doesn't hold a lot of weight. The only reason money really matters to us is because they make it matter to us.
I completely agree, bro.
Because at the end of the day, like, we only struggle to pay our bills and stuff like that, so we could just get by. But like, success is really just like in your person, what you give back to the community,
man. Yep.
how you are, man. I feel like I've become successful in some senses, you know what I mean, because of what I'm able to do.
Man.
I'm not fully successful all the way, but I believe I'm getting there, and
absolutely, brother.
I believe success is just in your own mind, man.
Yeah.
I think anybody trying is successful.
Yes, well said.
To be honest with you, because it's not easy out here.
Completely, bro.
I don't judge people for their jobs or nothing like that, man. I support it all. A hustle's a hustle, man. If we're trying to make it, we're trying to make it.
Well said, bro.
Yeah, everybody's successful in their own way.
You're damn right, man. No, I always say I treat the janitor, the CEO the same way, and everybody should. You always should, man. And that's we're all the same. We all have different spots that we're at in our life. That's one people I always try to remind people. Nobody's on top when they wake up as a baby. You know what I mean?
Nobody.
Like, so we've all been at a spot where we're not on top, and we got to remind ourselves of that.
And then you can lose it fast, too.
Exactly, man.
Lose it overnight, man.
There's all different types.
All it takes is one broken leg.
Yep.
One hiccup, one bad decision, and it's all gone. And then what?
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I mean? That's why I stay humble with it too,
Yes, sir.
because I know the other side of it. Like I tried to do this one other time in life, and it got to like 11 months, man. And I was doing good. I had like 3 jobs and everything, but the descent was so much faster than the acceleration to where like it's so easy to lose it, man. And I just.
Yes.
I don't know, man. I stay humble with it because I don't want to lose it, man.
No, you got to, man. You got to. You're going to lose yourself, and that's the key, man. I mean, ego it's the demise of many people, obviously.
It'll take you out.
And it's sad, man. It's very sad. But yeah, to remain to remain calm and, you know, to remain yourself is the key. You know, I think a lot of people, and sadly with the world we have created, I think you agree with this, is that, you know, with social media and everything now, everybody wants to live something that's not themselves. You know what I mean?
100%.
We all want to live, and everything, like you said, is interior. It's about what we can do to be the best person we can be and to help as many people as we can along our journey. You know, and like every timetable is different. Like you said, we bring back to me that all the time, is that everybody's timetable is different. I bring up Pablo Picasso. You know who that is, the artist? Mm-hmm. He pretty much died not knowing his stuff was worth anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like he had no idea. You know what I mean? There's people, and there's many stories of that. You know what I mean? Of people that were complete geniuses, and we all are in our own right, but people that even had, you know, crazy talents and never even knew they were any good until they were long gone. You know what I mean? They never even got the satisfaction or the, because like, for example, if you define their definition of success off of what they did in their life, they would have never known. But in their head, they could have been successful. That's the key. Like you know what I mean? So that's the. I think that's really a big story I try to bring up because, you know, he never even knew he was that great, but now we worship him. But he has no, you know, he had no clue. You know what I mean? So, but in his head, hopefully he thought that. You know what I mean? So you just never know. But that whole point is what I always try to bring up. Like everybody's version of it's, you know, very, very different. You know,
very different.
It's all internal in my opinion too, man.
The fact that I'm not living homeless and just going through my day to day or worried about the law or something like that.
Yeah, that's successful in your own right. You're damn right.
Difference than what it was. Right. I mean, I could attribute it to today and everything. I mean, I just believed more, man. Yeah. I try to encourage everybody with it too, man. I tell everybody because we can all do it, man. Everybody I come across, I try to tell them, man. But everybody's in their own space, man. Not everybody's always ready for the ready. Just like I wasn't. People tried to help me for years, and I listened without listening.
Just weren't ready to do it. Yeah.
I used some of their knowledge today that I took back with me, but yeah, you're not ready till you're ready either.
100%, dude. No, well said. Like you said, back on the timetable thing, everybody's ready at a different time.
100%,
yeah. 100%, man. 100%. I wanted to ask you this too. If someone, obviously, what you kind of wanted to talk about this about encouraging others. If someone's listening, they feel behind right now in life. What would be your biggest advice that you'd want to tell them?
You're not really behind, I guess.
Like
I mean,
that.
what is behind?
Like that.
I mean, like I said before, everything's just, I mean, something that they constructed for us. I mean, like, you're really just on your timetable. If you're moving and you're, like, doing okay, just keep going. It'll get there eventually.
Yep.
Don't have false preconceptions about what life should be and realize what you want your life to be.
No. Yeah.
And then that'll change a lot for you.
No, well said, man.
Stop caring what people think, too.
Yes, key, brother.
Because people don't really matter at the end of the day, and everything is situational. If you get into an argument with your spouse or friend tomorrow, it's really not going to matter within the next week.
Yep.
6 weeks from then. You know what I mean? Like, everything is situational, and once you remember that, everything will be a lot different, I feel like.
Well said, brother. Every situation is different, and they all change. Like you said, it's always changing every day. Yep. And we got to remind ourselves of that. Don't get stuck on one. Yep.
Yeah,
that's the key.
Because it takes a lot of small little movements to make a big impact.
Absolutely, brother.
You know what I mean?
It all goes together. No, well said, dude. Well said, man. No, I love your perspective on a lot of things. Because like you said, I think a lot of us sadly get put in the box and believe everything we see and, you know, try to think everything has to be a certain way in a sense. And, you know, when we can have an open book and an open mind and see things in a different perspective and not be forced to think a certain way, you know, I think that's when you can really find yourself and find, you know, what you love, you know, and that's really key. And I think a lot of us need to do a lot better job of making that a society like that, because I feel like obviously our society now sometimes doesn't promote that well. So, you know, we could do a hell of a lot job better doing that and making people feel more accepted and more wanting to ask for help and wanting to be there. 'Cause like you said, I think I even want to get into this too with you about talking for help. A lot of it, I do think it's a lot of judgment factor there. There's a lot of judgment. There's a lot of issues with, you know, the perception of how that is. And I think a lot of people almost get like, you know, it's almost like, I'm not doing that. I mean, I don't want help. You know what I mean? Help's not good enough for me. And we all do. I mean, there's been times I've done that, you know what I mean? But it's just like, we have to understand that sometimes we don't even sometimes know what's best for us at sometimes. And that sometimes that is true. That's true. And that's the hardest part. It goes back to us being hard-headed. And I think a lot of times we think we do know everything and think we can fix everything. And some things are fixable. Don't get me wrong. Some things I do believe are fixable through our own mind and through our own capabilities. And sometimes we shortchange ourselves. So I think there's an opposite effect of that too. But I do believe that there is times where we almost get too hard-headed and think we can do too much and sadly can put us in a bad cycle. You know what I mean? So I think being aware of that and being conscious of when do you need to ask for it? You know what I mean? And we all need to get better at that and be open for people and more accepting for that. Because I think we're trying. I think we've gotten places, but it's not fully there where we need to be yet, in my opinion.
Yeah, we can't be our 100% our own consultants.
Yeah.
Because then we're just giving ourselves our own advice back and
yes,
back and forth, back and forth, and we swear we know it all, right?
Well said, dude.
No, there's a bunch of times I bounce stuff off of people, man. I always call one of my boys up, ask him if I'm the asshole or not.
Yeah.
So that I can understand if my perspective wrong or the other person's perspective wrong.
Correct.
And he'll tell me if I'm wrong. He'll be like, "Yeah, you did wrong there," and I'll be like, "Okay, he's right."
Yeah.
And I'll work to try to work on it.
Well said, man. We all need something
you
like
never
that.
know, you know what I mean? Because we always, even in an argument, we swore our side was the side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Correct. We all, yes, 100%. And like, no matter what I always say, no matter what argument you're in, no matter what situation you're in, nobody's ever 100% wrong. You know, they're 100% right. It's always something, there's always something there. There's always a middle ground somewhere. Maybe 90-10, maybe something, but there's something in there. You know what I mean? So if we walk into a room or walk into anything thinking we know everything or that everything we say is right, then we're probably not going to get anywhere too quickly.
100%, yeah.
That's for sure, man. But, dude, honestly, I just want to say, like I said, in general, just appreciate your perspective on things, appreciate your view on how you approach life, appreciate how you have really flipped your life and have learned to see the light in things, man. And that's awesome, man. And a lot of people, I think, can learn a lot from that and, you know, build on that and really try to, like you said, gravitate into a focus that, like you said, you shifted and made it into a business. You know what I mean? You put your mind and your focus and your energy there. And if we can find a way to utilize our energy into good things, you know, that's the key. You know, I think we all utilize it into other ways, but if we can learn to focus and fine tune our energy to put it to useful, good things that help everybody, help ourselves while helping everybody else, that's really the ultimate goal.
That's the ultimate goal.
That's the ultimate goal, man. If we can help ourselves while helping the whole world, then we're doing something right. We're doing something right, man. Is there anything else you wanted to add or talk about before we wrap it up, man?
No, I just think that if you're struggling today, or if you think that like you're not gonna get ahead, you should just keep trying, man.
Yes.
If I would have gave up, I would have never got to where I'm at. I don't believe in giving up. I don't believe in failure. Everything's just a learning lesson, and you have to learn from it, or you're gonna continuously repeat it. Even in business, when I do certain jobs, I continuously learn how to get better at everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you see the mistakes, you know what I mean, you gotta fix it, because at the end of the day, it's all on you.
Yes.
It's not on anybody else, man. And 90% of the problems that we bring into our life is based on us. And because we want to blame everybody else, we struggle to get out of it.
Self-induced,
So if you start seeing your part in that situation, you can start drawing yourself out of the situation to potentially get better with your situation.
Well said.
And that's all I could really say about it.
No, man, I can tell you. No, that's well said, brother. I can tell that's deep for you. But yeah, people need to be more open. And like I said, if you need help, ask for it, man. And that's the key, please. And I've lost a lot of friends. I'm sure we all have in this world. Sadly, it's a big thing right now, and it's been a big thing for a while. And we all need to ask for help when we need it. And let's try to obviously be there for people before it gets to that point too. And that's the other part I try to really hone into, because we all really care when it gets to that point, but it's like we need to care a little more before it gets to that point too. And that's the key. Let's try to do a little more before it gets there. But brother, like I said, couldn't thank you enough for coming on, brother, and sharing your story and sharing, you know, what you went through. And I appreciate everything, man. I respect the hell out of you, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks for having me.
And no problem, dude. We can have you on anytime, man. But as always, man, thank you again for coming on, brother. You're the man, dude. And as we always say on this podcast, EO Lee, everybody love everybody. Let's try to do our part, make this world a better place, spread peace, spread love, spread forgiveness, spread kindness. Let's do our part and try to uplift others, make this world positive, try to spread a positive light, not a negative light. And hopefully we're influencing others who want to do that as well. But with that being said, this is season 2, episode number 30. Appreciate you again taking the time, brother. You are the man. I'm sure we'll have you on again at some point, man, if you're willing to. So we appreciate you as always, 100%. Brother. And make sure you go get your JEM Total Services, my man. We'll make sure we fly that out too. Make sure you go get yourself that and get yourself some services, construction services, weather permitted. I know it's a little rough right now.
You can check me out on Facebook.
Yes,
that's where I do all my advertisement at.
Yes, we're definitely flying that, and I'll put that in the description for them. But thank you again, as always, my man. You're the dude. And as always, thank you to everybody that listens. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as I said, this is season 2, episode number 30. Wrapping up for Who's Even Listening. And this is the Mental Medicine Channel. We will see you again next Wednesday. This is the Who's Even Listening, signing off.